What's up, Weirdlings? It's time for another character creation video. Since we do have the new campaign, Rusted Heart, starting really soon, we should go ahead and explain how to build characters with the characters that are going to be in Rusted Heart. And this time, we've got Birdie, and she's making a cool character. I don't even know the name of your character. Tell me about your character.
Okay, so my character is a Kenku.
For those of you who don't know, Kenku is not in the player's handbook. Kenku is in Volo's Guide to Monsters as a playable character race, and wait until you hear about Kenku.
Do you want to hear the history of the Kenku?
Sure.
Kenku. Okay, so Kenkus, though, in the world of D&D, are very, very interesting characters. They are humanoid birds, so they have a beak. They're covered in feathers, except for their little arms. The reason they don't have arms,
Wings? That's the
They
word.
have arms instead of wings. I'm not good at words. This is why I'm going to be perfect for this character.
This is great. This is perfect.
The reason they don't have wings is because basically they're very, very intelligent. Very intelligent. So intelligent, in fact, that they plotted against a very powerful person way back in the day to steal their treasure.
Oh, and I bet that didn't go very well.
It didn't go very well, no. So instead, they got caught, and they were kindly relieved of their wings.
Kindly relieved.
Kindly relieved of their wings. Actually, they lost their wings. They lost the ability to be creative. Yeah, kind of weird. And they also lost the ability to speak, kind of, language. They lost their language. So they can speak, and they can come up with ideas, but only through mimicry and forgery and copycatting, essentially. Every time that they want to have an idea, it's got to be something that they've seen before, or done before, or heard before.
I have to stop you here.
Yes.
Because I'm hearing you describe this Kenku.
Yes.
And knowing you. How the hell are you going to play a Kenku that you can't speak?
Ooh, it is going to be very difficult. Actually, the player handbook suggests that you don't necessarily rely on all the, motions and sounds and things like that, and you kind of just tell people what you want to do.
That's no fun.
That's no fun. So instead, I'm going to use my words. We do get some words. So as we have progressed through our lives, we've learned a word here and there that we've heard spoken a ton of times, and I have picked up 8 words.
Wow. Wow. 8 words,
8
y'all.
whole words.
That's going to be amazing.
Ooh, and I already know my words. It's going to be very interesting trying to communicate my thoughts, because again, we're very intelligent.
Okay.
Kenkus aren't dumb. We've read a ton. We've researched a lot. We know a lot of things.
But
So there's going to be a lot of gesticulating.
is one of those words sausage? Yeah. Yes. Oh, love it.
One of my 8 words is sausage.
Oh, I love that.
There is a reason for that.
I'm sure we'll learn at some point.
Yeah. It's not just completely random, guys. There is a reason.
Here's one thing I don't know about your character. What's your character's name?
Sizzler.
Sizzler.
Yes. Sizzler.
Like the steakhouse.
Kinda.
Now we need to go and we need to build Sizzler from scratch. So
Yes.
this is going to be the character creation part. Just so you know, we're pretty much going straight from the player's handbook, with the exception, obviously, of the Kenku being from Volo's. The other thing you need to know, this is not going to be a min-max session. This is all about the role-playing and making a cool character that's going to be fun to play. So if you want to maximize your stats, this is not the right thing for you. This is all about, I want to play this cool thing in this character. This is what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
That's what this one's going to be about.
Yeah, this was purely wow, that's a bird creature. I need to be that. And then just building out from there. There was nothing strategic about this.
Kenku number 1, they have a speed of 30 feet. That's pretty standard for most humanoid creatures. It's going to be 30 feet. You also have a few other things that you get for being a Kenku. What else do you have?
I got a couple proficiencies
Okay,
that I got to choose.
Well, you had a choice of 4 and you chose...
I had a choice of 4. I chose stealth and deception.
Stealth and deception.
Mm-hmm. Kenkus are, again, excellent at forgeries, at mimicry, at all that kind of stuff. So they're often tasked with the job of lookout or messenger or things like that. So I wanted to make sure that if caught, I could get out of it.
Sure.
And hopefully wouldn't get caught because I was very stealthy.
I'm just imagining Kenku Deception. Somebody catching you like, sausage! You also get for Kenku this mimicry forgery thing just because of your background, and that does something?
Basically, I get advantage on all of those checks. So for forgeries and mimicry, I get advantage. That's really cool because if I wanted to, for example, copy a letter that someone had sent or something like that, and if I wanted to produce paperwork saying that we were someone that we weren't, maybe.
It would just be like that movie where they made the papers to make him a noble knight so he could compete in the jousting tournaments.
Yeah, oh my gosh, a Knight's Tale.
Knight's Tale, that's the one, yes.
Movie.
Yeah, it's just like a Knight's Tale. You also get a couple of bonuses to your abilities being a Kenku.
I do. For dexterity, I get +2, and for wisdom, I get +1.
Okay, so you're speedy, quick, and wise.
Very smart. I'm very smart. I told you guys.
Okay, so we've pretty much got the race chosen. We got all the bonuses and proficiencies out of the way for the Kenku. Next, you got to pick a class, and you made a very interesting choice for your class.
I did. I chose Warlock.
Warlock. I love it. You have a spellcaster that can't really speak. That's going to be interesting. How does that actually work?
Well, the way it works is I've learned these spells, right? So either through seeing someone else do it or reading all about it, and it's more about the intention than it is the specific words. But since I can mimic things exactly, I can say whatever I want. Whatever spell I've seen before, I can say.
Okay.
So I can mimic it perfectly and get it done.
All right, fair enough.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to do that. So let's talk a little bit about what it means to be a warlock.
Okay, warlocks are really interesting. Warlocks are different from regular magic users in that their power comes mostly from an otherworldly patron.
I'm writing warlock up
Okay. So we've basically kind of like made a deal with the devil, if you will.
Nice.
But they don't necessarily have to be bad. But we've made a deal with someone. This plays in really, really well to the Kenku background, and that's kind of why I went with Warlock right off the bat. Kenkus, they lost everything, okay? But their main driver in life, the one thing that they want to find or get or have, is something that will give them flight back. So they want their wings. My Kenku, Mr. Sizzler, has essentially made a deal with someone that may or may not have agreed to someday give him flight back. So my Kenku has an otherworldly patron.
Cool.
And this has given me a few cool little bonuses.
Yeah, what are the bonuses? So you're going to get some proficiencies for being a warlock. And what are your proficiencies?
I chose Arcana.
Makes sense.
And I also chose Investigation.
Investigation. Bam.
I really felt like, again, staying with the character and staying with the one that's a little bit sneaky, the one that's going to be looking around a whole lot, the one that's... I wanted him to... and again, because he's a magic user, and he's desperate to get flight. I wanted him to understand as much as he can about the arcane, and also to be able to do that digging and find...
Makes sense.
Yeah, find
Makes sense. So you've also got a couple of proficiencies in your saves as well. What do you have for a warlock?
I have Wisdom and Charisma.
So warlocks get Wisdom and Charisma proficiency in your saves. Just to be clear, if you don't know what we're talking about by the proficiency, whenever you do a skill check or a save, if you have proficiency, you can add your proficiency bonus to whatever you roll. So when you're proficient in something, good.
Mine's 3.
It starts at 1. To be clear, at level 1, your proficiency is 1. We're going to be starting the Rusted Heart campaign at level 8. So hers will be 3 once we start at level 8. So the proficiency bonus will be +3. So for all of these, she's going to get a +3. We're gonna jump into the leveling up thing later. We'll jump into that later. There's a whole other thing. Every spellcaster has a spell ability that's the basis of their casting. What is the spell ability for a warlock?
Well, for the warlock, it's Charisma.
Charisma. That's so interesting. Your spell ability is going to be charisma.
Uh-huh.
Now, eventually we'll talk about the save DC and the attack DC, because since we're leveling up, that's going to kind of change those numbers a little bit. Essentially, just so you know, the spell save is if you cast a spell and the target has to make a saving roll. That's going to be 8 plus a proficiency plus your charisma modifier, and they're going to have to beat that. The attack bonus is going to be your proficiency plus your modifier. So that will be whatever you roll on an attack, you're going to add that to it. We'll go over that stuff a little later, though. So we were talking about this earlier. You mentioned something you were really excited about, and that is the Eldritch Invocations.
Yes. Okay. So as a warlock, I get something a little special. It's called Eldritch Invocations. And essentially, these things are spells or spell add-ons, if you would.
Okay.
That I get to use at any point. I don't... Some of them have a few extra requirements and things like that, but the ones I've chosen specifically right now, I kind of get to use whenever I want.
And these don't take up spell slots.
They don't take up spell slots.
Doesn't suck.
Yeah.
Doesn't suck at all.
So I have 4 of them right now.
You have 4 Eldritch Invocations.
Yep.
There's something else you were talking about when you were talking to Brandon about this. There's something you were talking about with the spells that he wanted you to do, which I just... I can't wait to see what this plays. What is Brandon wanting?
Oh, this is so interesting. Okay, so as a warlock or as a spellcaster, I get the choice. I can either use components for spells that require components, things like a feather or a piece of bark from a tree that's been hit by lightning. So I can either use those things, or I can have an arcane focus, like a gem or a diamond or something, which is a gem. So when I spoke with Brandon and we were kind of talking through this, he really, really, really wants me to use the stuff. And he said in his ideal world, he's picturing this Kenku with just little things like tacked all over its body and clothes, just like hanging on.
God.
Just pull a newt's eye out of underneath one of my feathers.
Oh my God. You're going to be like a little Kenku hoarder.
I am.
Wow.
I'm going to be like the little bag lady that walks around.
Yeah, like in Labyrinth.
Yep.
It's just like in Labyrinth.
Yep.
So you're going to have to keep track of all your components.
I am. And
man.
yeah. We were talking about how that was going to happen and how I was even going to get stuff. So expect a lot of trips to the market.
Wow. In my brain, I'm imagining that like when we actually play this, you should just have like a bunch of jars of stuff in front of you. And every time you just throw it out, I'm like, all right, that's what I got left.
That's not a bad idea.
It's really not, and I kind of love the idea. That might need to happen.
It would help me keep track of stuff.
Yeah, it really, really would. And we can get little cheap containers. That might be
I've got some. Don't
You're
worry
good?
about it.
You're good?
We're good.
That's exciting.
Making plans.
I love it. So warlocks, there are different pacts that they can choose. And what did you choose for your warlock?
Right, so we get a Pact boon. So mine is the Pact of the Tome. Pact of the Tome. And that's because, so essentially, my Kenku is very smart. Again, I like books. And so the Pact of the Tome gives me, from my archfey patron, gives me a grimoire.
A grimoire.
Grimoire. And it's called the Book of Shadows. So the Book of Shadows gives me 3 additional cantrips that don't count against my warlock cantrips.
And they can be from any class, right?
These can be from any class. Even if my book were to get lost, it just disappears once I do a simple little ritual and I can get a new one. So no one's going to steal it from me or anything.
All right, cool. You mentioned that your patron was the Archfey.
Yes.
Because you can choose different patrons, and you chose the Archfey.
I did.
What all does that do for you?
So having an Archfey gives me, as my patron, gives me a couple of really cool things. I get Misty Escape.
What?
Yeah. So Misty Escape basically means that if someone deals damage to me, I can just disappear and pop away up to 60 feet. Like, just gone. Sorry, dude, later. Nah, I don't need none of that.
I kind of love that. Now, having said that, I'm just imagining being in combat, be like, where the hell did she go?
Exactly. Exactly.
She's over there.
I also get something called Fey Presence.
Yeah.
Yeah, Fey Presence means that I can conjure up the emotion and imagery and all this of my Fey patron, and I can frighten people.
Oh, just by
Just by being.
Holy crap. That looks like a thing.
Yeah, and so they'll be frightened by me until I think the end of my next turn.
Okay, so we've gone through your race, we've gone through your
Yes.
class, we've gotten all your packs, we've gotten your specific kind of patron that you need to pick with a warlock. The other thing you need to do when you do a character, you have to pick a background. There are a lot of backgrounds available within the player's handbook and some of the other guides. You pick one that's not in the player's
I
handbook.
did. I went outside a little bit again. I figure, we're going crazy with the Kenku. Why not get wild with our background?
Why not? I think this one comes out of the Sword Coast guide.
It does.
Right? Okay.
It does, yeah. So I'm a far traveler.
Far traveler.
Far traveler.
Can you say it like that?
Far traveler.
As a Kenku, that's how you have to say it. Love it. So with Far Traveler, you also get some proficiencies.
I do. I get 2 proficiencies. I am proficient in insight and perception.
Insight and perception, which again really does, thank you, really does kind of, ooh, wow.
Wow.
Me and in the lines
Whoa.
not working. That does kind of fit in with your story for Sizzler, though. It
It does, and him being a far traveler actually is spot on for him as well. So
Nice.
it's going to work out.
Nice.
I'm excited. I also get
There's more.
an instrument.
Oh, an instrument. What kind of instrument you get?
I chose a chime.
A chime.
Yes, and I am also proficient in that instrument.
Proficient in the chime.
In the chime.
You know what, guys? Everybody right now, look up more cowbell.
Yes.
And that's pretty much what I'm seeing
Yes.
happening right now.
Does a cowbell count as a chime?
I don't know.
Oh.
It should.
I can get a cowbell.
Even if it doesn't. Oh, God. I'm not sure what that would do. That might...
Sausage!
I might jump across the table and tackle you. I don't know. I'm just saying it might happen. Maybe we should stick with a triangle or something
Okay,
like that.
well, we'll
I think
see.
a triangle would be just as
we'll see.
effective. If she shows up with a cowbell, I swear. I think that's basically everything we've got for like the basics. But now we've got to really dig into the meat and potatoes.
Meat and
Some
potatoes.
people will roll their ability scores early. I want to make sure I go through and get through all of this because there are potential bonuses you get between your selections that will affect your scores. So after we've got all this is when I normally start rolling abilities. And you rolled some abilities, and I've got your rolls. Where did I put? Here they are. Yeah, you had some good rolls.
I did pretty dang good.
You did.
I was shocked.
Let's go over rolling ability scores real quick. There are a few ways you can do it. You can do just a standard array. If you look in the player's handbook, you can see that there are an array of numbers you can just plug in anywhere you want. You can also do something called a point buy, where you have a certain number of points you can allocate to different abilities. Or if you want to live on the edge, you roll 4 6-sided dice, take the top 3, and that's your number. It can be really awesome. It can be really painful.
Yeah, it could be very painful, as evidenced by Ilaria's Shadow Fair.
I mean, you did make the choice on Constitution.
Listen, she's doing fine.
So the first thing you rolled, let's write these down. So the first one you rolled a 6-6-3. Write down 6-6-3 down there.
Okay. 6,
6-6-3.
3.
Well, there should be another 6 in there. Sorry. 6-6-6-3.
Oh.
Because you rolled 4 dice. So she's got 6-6-6-3. You're going to drop the lowest one, so you're dropping the 3. That gives you a total of 18.
Yep.
Which is the highest number you can roll when you're first rolling your initial score. Write down 18 on there.
Equals 18.
Now your next one maybe not quite as
I
great.
mean, that's fine.
You did a 3-3-3-3.
3,
4 threes,
3,
y'all.
3, 3. 12.
No. 9.
3, 6, 9.
This is why I add up everybody's dice. This is why every time people roll, they look at me, and I'm like, that's a 15.
I'm not good at math.
So that's a 9 because she drops one of the
Yes.
3s. That's why that's a 9 on there. The next one, 6-3-3-2. Dropping the 2 gives you 12. Hey, good.
Yeah.
Hey.
I said it at the same time.
Next one was a good one, 6-6-4-4.
Whoa, I'm getting weird.
That's all right. Drop
Drop
4.
a 4.
Gives you a...
16.
Yeah! Next one, you're going to have some ups and downs. A 6-2-3-2. We're going to drop one of the 2s. That's going to give you an 11.
Yeah.
But it's still above average.
Yep.
Honestly, these are still, even that 9,
That was real good.
not bad. And the last one, a 6-5-5-1. That's a pretty darn impressive array of scores. That's going to give you another 16.
Yay.
OP, man. Like, a 9's the lowest score out here. The lowest score you can potentially get is a 3. The lowest score she got is a 9. That's not
right.
bad. That's not bad. So when you take these numbers, you're going
Yes.
to put them into your abilities
Yep.
based on what's best for your class.
Yes.
Your class is based on charisma, so I guess for that 18,
Yes.
probably in the charisma.
That's where that went.
Nice. The rest of them, after you really get your core number down, the rest of them are just however you want to play your character. So how did you throw everything else in the mix?
So strength, I gave myself a 16. I feel like that's pretty important. I mean, I'm a weak little creature. I'm only 5 foot tall and 85 pounds.
Oh, wow.
So I needed something that was going to give me some
But
power.
you're ripped. You're
I'm
5 foot
so
tall.
ripped, yeah. Dexterity, I actually gave dexterity a 9.
9. Okay. But you have a +2.
That's kind of where I was going with it. I wanted to be able to pump up numbers. You know, I wanted to take that 9 and make it a little bit better. And I knew I was getting a +2 bonus to dexterity. So that's where I went.
So you got 11 on dexterity.
Yeah. Not
Total
+2.
11.
Yeah. 11. So Constitution, my old friend.
Oh, yes. Your old friend, Constitution.
I went a little different with it this time, and I gave myself 16 for Constitution.
Okay. Constitution is important because whenever you level up, your Constitution bonus gets added to your hit point total. So the higher your Constitution, the more damage you can take in battle.
But I still have less hit points than Ilaria.
Wow. We'll cover that in a minute. What do you got for intelligence?
Okay. My intelligence, I went with a 12. I have advantage on a lot of those checks and things like that, so I thought I would do okay.
See, that makes sense.
Yeah.
You don't need to really pump up the bonus if you
Or-
have advantage.
Proficiency.
Proficiency. Yeah.
Proficiency.
Difference.
I know.
That makes a lot of difference. You should- whatever.
So I had a proficiency in a lot of those checks, and I thought that 12 would be okay there. So wisdom, I ended up taking 11. And again, I knew I was getting +1 there, so it's actually 12.
Okay, so this is your final array. That's pretty good array. You've got 18 of charisma, which for a warlock is freaking stellar.
Yep.
Once you get your abilities in here, you're going to have some bonuses to any checks or any skills that are related to those. So a strength of 16 gives you a bonus of what?
I get a +3.
+3 doesn't suck,
Nope.
y'all. So anytime there's a strength check of any kind, she's going to add 3 to it. What about dexterity?
+1.
+1, because 11, it's above average. That's why you get a +1. And then Constitution is going to be a +3 again, I'm guessing.
Oh, you know what? I'm sorry. That was wrong. Because it's not. 11 is 0, and then I used my...
Oh, you're right.
I bumped it up to 13 and got a +1.
Yeah, we'll talk about the bump up to 13 in a minute. 11 is a +0. We'll talk about that in a minute. Intelligence at 12 is going to be...
Intelligence is a +1.
+1.
Yep.
Cool. And then Wisdom is also going to be a
It's also a +1.
+1. And your Charisma with 18...
Is a +4.
Y'all, +4. So what that means is anytime you have one of these checks, you're going to add these on here. For example, this strength check has a +3. So anytime she rolls that, she's going to add 3 to her dice roll. Now, if you look down here, she has proficiency in wisdom. If I look at her wisdom number down here at +1, but she has proficiency, so we're going to add her proficiency bonus. Remember, at level 1, that's going to be a +1, which would make the wisdom +2. But since she's starting at level 8, we're at +3, which is going to make this a +4. Now that we have all this, we can also talk about your spell save and attack bonus DC. So
Okay.
it's based on charisma.
Yes.
With your proficiency,
Yes.
your attack is going to be your charisma modifier plus your proficiency bonus. So your attack bonus should be +7.
7.
So any ranged attack or anything that takes an attack spell,
Yeah.
roll it, add 7. Awesome.
Love it.
It's kind of huge. Your save DC is going to be 8 plus your proficiency plus your bonus.
Oh, 8 + 3 + 7?
Yep. No.
Oh, what? Oh,
Plus your bonus.
what's that one?
Damn, you hit everything.
8 + 3 + 4. So that's 8 + 7.
Yes.
So that's 15.
15.
I did it.
So what that means is anytime she casts a spell that is going to require the target to make a save, they have to beat 15. Now that we've got that, let's talk about your gear because you have armor.
Yes.
What kind of armor do you have?
I have leather armor.
You have leather armor.
Not that exciting, but it's there. It's something.
But your armor directly relates to your armor class.
It does.
Leather armor being light armor has a base of, I believe, 11?
11.
It's 11, and then you add your dexterity modifier.
Okay.
Right now it's 0.
Yep.
So right now, your armor class is going to be 11.
No, it's 12.
Your modifier is 0.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. Okay.
Yeah.
And it goes up later.
Right.
Okay.
So right now, it's 11.
Yes.
So we are leveling up. This character is starting at level 1, but you've got to get to level 8. So we need to take care of your hit points at level 8.
Yes.
For a Warlock,
Yeah.
you use a D8.
I do. I use a D8.
So we'll start at a D8. At level 1, your hit point is going to be your maximum hit die, which is 8, plus your Constitution modifier. So you're going to start off with an 11 as your very first amount of hit points. 11. That's not bad. Pretty good. Pretty good. Now, when you level up, you always have a choice. You can either take the average of the die, which for a D8 would be a 5, or you can roll. Could be good.
Yep.
Could be. So you went ahead and you rolled. We
did.
rolled in advance.
Yep.
I don't know. Maybe your rolls were a little roll. That's the risk you take. You could have gotten 8s on everything.
Yeah.
Your first roll, you got a 4, which made your total 15. I mean,
Beautiful.
And that's actually, when I say 4, keep in mind, that's a 1 with a +3 Constitution modifier. So, your next one was a little better. That was a 9, which got you up to 24. And again, 9 would be 6 plus 3. This is the combination of the two. But then we had another 4. That gives you 28. Boom. Guess what?
I rolled a lot of 1s.
There were a lot of 1s involved, y'all.
Yeah.
Hey, you know what? It's another 1.
Okay.
It's It's fine. But hey, it got a little better because then you got a 6.
Oh,
you rolled a
cool.
3 on that one. You're so happy about this. And then for the last one, you rolled a 2, which got you to a 5, which brought you up to a 47.
Cool.
Yay! So your total hit
Yay.
points at level 8 are 47.
I'm a tiny little bird person.
The other thing we need to do whenever you level up is there are a couple of points where you have a couple of choices.
Yes.
So when you get to levels 4
and 8, I
4 and 8, yeah, level 4 and 8, you can choose between either increasing 2 of your abilities by 1 point, 1 ability by 2 points, or you can choose a feat.
Correct.
So you were going to have 2 options here. What did you choose first time?
I chose to increase my dex by 2.
Okay, so your 11's now a 13.
Yes.
Which then makes your dexterity go to a +1.
Yes. So this is a 13.
And that's also going to increase your armor class to a 12.
That's right.
So this next time around, you
Yes.
chose a feat.
I did.
What'd you choose?
I chose Spell Sniper.
That sounds fancy.
Yes.
What does that do?
Okay, so first of all, any spell that requires a ranged attack doubles my distance.
So like if it's 60 feet, it's now suddenly 120 feet.
Exactly.
Good luck getting away. Wow.
Exactly.
That's not bad.
And if you thought you were going to hide behind a rock or a tree or something, no siree. It actually negates all cover up to 3/4. So anyone hiding in half cover or 3/4 cover, done.
In case you don't know, whenever someone is behind cover, it actually increases their armor class. So if they have an armor class of, say, 11 and they're behind cover, that will increase their armor class a certain amount based on how much cover they're in. You just don't even care about that. That's still the armor class.
Yep.
That's not bad.
I love it.
Because of the spell sniper, you also got an extra cantrip.
I did. I got 1 extra cantrip from basically the spell casting classes.
Okay.
I didn't have to pick from Warlock. I get to pick from anything.
Okay.
And again, it doesn't cost against or count against my cantrips.
So you have a decent number of spells for a warlock.
Oh, I do. Yeah, I've got 7 cantrips right off the bat and 4 Eldritch invocations.
That doesn't suck at all.
Nope.
Wow. We'll just stand back and let you do everything from a distance. That's what we could do. Since you can, like, from 120 feet away, just be like, can you take care of that?
Exactly.
That guy right there.
Exactly.
One thing we haven't talked about is we haven't talked about your weapons. What kind of weapons do you have?
So I actually have a light crossbow.
Light. I'm just going to put LT. Crossbow. What else do you have?
I have a quarterstaff.
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 I love it. I'm going to put quarter.
I thought you were going to draw a little state quarter on there.
You're a little, and there's a little guy.
Yes.
Hello. That's a horrible quarter. Let's get rid of that.
Okay.
So,
And
there's more.
2 daggers.
2 daggers. We have a lot of daggers in this adventure.
Do we?
We do. For your weapon attacks, there are different modifiers based on the type of weapon that you have. For any ranged weapons, your modifier is going to be based on your dexterity. So since you have a 13 dexterity, that's going to give you a +1 modifier plus your proficiency. So at level 8, you're going to have a +4 modifier on any of your ranged attack rolls.
Excellent.
Not bad. What's the damage on the light crossbow?
1d8.
So when you do your damage, you're going to get 1d8, and it depends on the weapon, whatever your weapon is. You're also going to be able to add your ability modifier. Not your proficiency, just your ability. So that's a 1d8 +1. For the quarterstaff, that's a melee weapon, and melee weapons are going to be based on strength. So with your big strength, you're going to have a +3 attack plus your proficiency, so you get a +6 on using your quarterstaff.
Yeah.
Now your damage on that is based on a d6, is that right?
Kinda,
because it's versatile, y'all. Let's start with the d6 first.
Yes, so if I were to use this as a one-handed weapon, I would just get 1d6, and in my first hit, would use the 1d6.
1d6. Now, since it's versatile, you can choose to use it two-handed. So your modifier would be the same, but your damage would be
1d8.
1d8. So I'll just put that right here. 1d8. Again, plus your strength, so +3. So depending on how you use the quarterstaff, it can be a 1d6 or a 1d8 plus your strength modifier.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool. Daggers are also melee, but they're considered finesse weapons. So you can use either your dexterity or your strength modifier. I'm pretty sure you're going to want to go with your strength modifier.
Let's go with strength.
So we're going to go with a +6 on that. Okay. And the damage on those, I believe, is a +4.
1d4,
yeah. 1d4 plus your strength, +3. And now I think that we're pretty much done with Sizzler. Ooh. Sure, there are some details that we probably glossed over. If you have any questions, you can ask in the comments below and we can answer them as best we can. You're not going to get all the details, though.
I am so excited to play this character. It is going to be extremely challenging. Extremely challenging.
I can say as someone that's going to be sitting across the table from you, it's going to be extremely challenging.
But I'm very, very excited. You know, it's another kind of mysterious creature, just like Ilaria was, and it's another one that I'm going to be able to get really creative with. I'm going to have to get very creative with on a role-playing side. I'm ready to kind of expand my world a little bit.
I am actually really darn excited about this one too. She's going to be really cool.
Yeah.
All right. That's pretty much it. Look, we're going to have a few more of these videos out explaining the characters coming into Rusted Heart, as well as just how to make characters in general in Dungeons & Dragons. You should totally check those out. You should also check out the new campaign, Rusted Heart, which is starting May 6th on Twitch. We'll also have them here on YouTube, so you can watch them on YouTube. But if you want to watch live and be a part of the audience, we'll show up on Sundays on Twitch every other Sunday. So make sure you're there for that. Birdie, I'm excited.
I'm excited!
This is going to be cool, y'all. Did you just win a thumb war?
I think I did.
Sneaky. Oh, don't forget to subscribe, like, and share, and tell all your friends and do all the things, because that's important. Social media.
Yeah.
Social media.